A squadron of tall, burly Turgonian soldiers, the only kind, as far as Yanko had seen, marched down with rifles in their arms and cudgels and cutlasses belted at their waists. At least 20 men filled the brig, so many it was almost laughable. It was certainly claustrophobic. They ignored the parrot's chatter, which was good, since Kai was throwing racial slurs in with his request for biscuits, as usual. Yanko ran through the possible ways he might use his powers to distract the Turgonians so he could escape, but it wasn't yet time. Right now, they would have to run through several corridors, up 3 flights of steps, and across the huge upper deck of the massive ship before they could leap to a pier filled with hundreds of people. Who knew how many of them would eagerly shoot someone trying to escape from a military ship? Yanko had never been to Turgonia, but he had a notion of an empire. Yes, it called itself a republic now, but it had been an empire for centuries, full of people clad in warrior attire and bristling with weapons. "Yanko?" Lakio nudged him as one of the soldiers unlocked Jolly's door. She didn't say anything else out loud, but twitched her eyebrows. "Yes?" he asked telepathically. "When are we making our move?" Lakio looked like she wanted to try now, or as soon as possible, even though she had only a few magical tricks to call upon. "You can make a barrier to protect us if we run away, can't you? Turgonian bullets shouldn't be any harder to deflect than fireballs, right?" Yanko offered a non-committal, He had deflected fireballs before, channeling the air into a wall too dense for them to penetrate, but that had been while he'd stood stationary at the railing of a ship. Magic took concentration, and he wasn't sure if he could concentrate that well with soldiers firing at them from all directions. There was a reason even warrior mages had bodyguards. "I think the best opportunity will come when we're in transit from here to wherever they intend to take us." He also shared the words with Arievo, who nodded slightly at him. Her eyes weren't as bright and perky as usual. For once, she did not seem to regard all this as a fun adventure. "It should be easier for us to disappear within their city, among the crowds and buildings," he added. "So I shouldn't try to kick any Turgonians in the balls as we leave?" Lakio asked, glaring at the one who stepped forward to unlock their door. "Well, I won't be doing that, but you've rarely followed my example in matters of etiquette." "No, because you'd apologize as you kicked someone and then call them honored enemy." "Perhaps." "Daiku?" Kai asked. The Turgonian with the keyring took a lazy swing at him. Kai squawked and sprang from his perch, flapping over their heads and out the hatchway at the top of the steps. Yanko curled his fingers into a fist. It had been a half-hearted swing, but he was tempted to punish the soldier for trying to hit the bird. But all sets of eyes were upon him. They expected him to use his magic, to fight them. This wasn't the moment. "Out!" the guard said, backing up so Yanko and the others could squeeze into the crowded passage. Jolly was already out. She growled low in her throat as 2 soldiers gripped her. Chains clanked, and a man stepped forward with a set of shackles with wrist and ankle bindings. Jolly tensed and looked like she might struggle, but she ended up sighing. As talented as she was in combat, there were too many soldiers. She stood still as the shackles were locked onto her wrists and ankles with a chain that linked both sets together. "Agree to work with us, and I can break those locks when the time comes," Yanko told her silently, figuring it was worth one last try. She glared over her shoulder at him. Soldiers came forward with 3 more sets of shackles, heavy, gray, and made from excellent Turgonian steel. Even though he knew he could break them with magic, Yanko had a hard time not feeling daunted as a man clasped the cold metal around his wrists and ankles. It was a further insult that he, unlike the others, had been stripped down to his small clothes, since someone had recognized his mother's robe as something made that increased his power.